Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brooke Lynn was blindfolded and escorted by Chase to the Quartermain Lake House, where a romantic lunch under the stars was planned. Happy Valentine's Day, conveyed Chase. It was a comet that was supposed to cross over New York later that evening, and he had overheard her discussing it with Leo. Leo was thrilled about the occasion, according to Brooke Lynn, who grinned and said that Leo thought there was magic on Valentine's Day, waiting for a once-in-a-hundred-year occurrence while sipping champagne and stargazing struck Chase as the epitome of magic. Subsequently, Brooke Lynn curled up behind a blanket on a love seat, shivering. Although neither of the space heaters was functioning, Chase was getting irritated. But Brooke Lynn reassured him that they could stay warm by using their body heat to keep each other warm. Chase got her 2 glasses of bubbly and curled up next to her under the covers. Chase raised a glass to Brooke Lynn and assured her that it would be a Valentine's Day they could both look back on with pride. Brooke Lynn mumbled something about frostbite, but when Chase put his arm around her, she grinned broadly. She started to wonder when the comet might make an appearance while she and Chase stared at the stars. To Chase's astonishment, Brooke Lynn admitted that she wasn't into the Valentine's Day hype, even though he offered to take her inside if she got too chilly. "It's just a commercial money grab to make single people feel like crap," she stated. Chase laughed heartily, realizing that he thought the same thing. He clarified that he had gone above and beyond to make the day memorable for Brooke Lynn. Brooke Lynn gave him a kiss, moved by the gesture. Chase and Brooke Lynn then made the decision to return home. They saw the comet pass over the lake as they raised their last glances at the sky. After all, Chase proposed, perhaps Valentine's Day magic existed. Chase and Brooke Lynn made love as soon as they got home. Maxie, Sasha, and Lucy were seated at a table in the Savoy's Valentine's Day-themed nightclub. Lucy was upset that Marty had not picked up her calls. Lucy went out with friends, which Maxie and Sasha pointed out in an attempt to cheer her up. Although Lucy was willing to join in the fun, she cautioned her friends not to toast to love since she would throw her drink at them. "To friendship," lifted her glass, Maxie said. Cody and Spinelli showed up nearby. Spinelli was hoping to meet someone, but as soon as he saw Maxie, he started to get suspicious. Cody proposed that they say hello to the women, but he gave Spinelli the assurance that he was unaware that Sasha and Maxie would be at the Savoy. Cody moved to the table before Spinelli could stop him. Maxie invited Spinelli and Cody to the celebration since she was happy to see them. It was ladies' night, and no boys were permitted, so Lucy balked. Lucy accused Maxie of violating the girl code after Cody and Spinelli withdrew to the bar. But Maxie made no excuses. Given that they shared a residence, Lucy acknowledged that she believed Maxie may require a break from Spinelli. Nonetheless, Maxie promptly explained that their arrangement was only temporary. With a knowing smirk, Sasha inquired about the duration required to fix Spinelli's apartment. Maxie was unconcerned, though, as Georgie enjoyed having her father live with her. "It sounds like Maxie like having Spinelli around too," Sasha conceded. Lucy wanted to think through her strategy on deception, so she changed the topic. Lucy countered that they couldn't afford the luxury of having time off because Tracy was determined to destroy deception, even though Sasha and Maxie wanted to enjoy a night off. Sasha resisted, knowing that Tracy really did want the business to flourish. After a little while, Lucy contacted Martin and excused herself, but the call ended up in voicemail. She begged him to return her call in another message. She then made the decision to depart without informing Maxie and Sasha. Sasha and Maxie discussed Spinelli staying at Maxie's table. Sasha inquired about the romance between Maxie and Spinelli after Maxie revealed that Spinelli was her best friend. Although everything had been going well, Maxie clarified it had not worked out. Maxie's eyes had moved to where Spinelli and Cody were standing, and Sasha wondered if Maxie had ever considered getting back in touch with Spinelli. "Once or twice," replied Maxie. It was difficult to love someone as much as Maxie had loved Nathan, she said. Sasha could relate. She had the same thoughts about Brando. Though it wasn't the same as the love she had with Brando, Sasha had come to understand that loving someone else could still be wonderful. Maxie acknowledged that she had overindulged Spinelli too many times to count, and that she was unable to subject him to that kind of treatment once more. Then please don't, Sasha advised. Spinelli was uncomfortable talking to another woman at the bar, while Maxie was present. So he wanted to leave. It shouldn't matter, Cody pointed out, since Spinelli and Maxie were merely pals. Later on, Spinelli gave the sitter an update. When he hung up, Cody inquired as to whether everything was well. James had been getting out of bed, Spinelli explained. So Cody suggested that Spinelli tell Maxie. As Spinelli approached Maxie to have a conversation, Cody grinned. When Sasha eventually joined Cody in the bar, she disclosed that Maxie had told Spinelli that James was infatuated with the sitter. When Cody questioned Sasha about her first love interest, she revealed that it had been her science teacher from 4th grade. Cody wasn't convinced by her assurance that the teacher hadn't known anything at all. Cody changed course because he wanted to know Maxie's thoughts on Spinelli. Sasha promised Cody that if he put his heart on the line and his feelings weren't returned, she would talk Spinelli out of it, but she wouldn't break Maxie's trust. Maybe this wasn't the appropriate time for Spinelli and Maxie earlier, Cody thought to himself. But then he looked at Sasha, and his observation became more meaningful. Both Maxie and Spinelli agreed at the table that they had liked spending the evening together. Following Curtis's physical therapy appointment, Curtis and Portia made their way home. Although he expressed regret for scheduling the appointment on Valentine's Day, he acknowledged that he had seen progress following each session. Portia was overjoyed. Curtis made the decision to change once they were inside before they left. But Portia noticed a sizable arrangement of red roses on the table. Curtis admitted that he wasn't the one responsible for the flowers. Marshall had left a message for Portia, informing her that dinner had been ordered and that he and Trina would be leaving late. "Happy anniversary to us," Curtis murmured. Dinner was set up on the table when Portia and Curtis returned after dressing elegantly for the evening. Portia sat across from Curtis while he poured a glass of wine. Curtis, much to Portia's dismay, proposed that they commemorate their anniversary properly. Shortly then, Portia, clad in a silk negligee, entered the bedroom. Curtis sat in bed, the bedroom filled with lit candles. He pushed the blankets aside, and Portia slid into bed beside him. They made love and started kissing. They then gave each other a hug. With a happy anniversary, baby, Portia bid everyone. "Happy Valentine's Day," Curtis answered. Portia acknowledged that she had felt the same way about Curtis when he revealed that he had wanted to make love to her for a very long time. She nodded and gave him a quiet grin when he inquired if the wait had been worthwhile. They realized that they had traveled a long way, and that when together, they could conquer any obstacle. Curtis and Portia planted a kiss to clinch their affirmation. Despite their agreement not to exchange gifts, Dawn surprised Sam with a Valentine's Day gift in their penthouse. She pulled out a black leather jacket and opened a huge box, touching Sam. Dawn clarified that he had purchased it due to her expressed desire to resume motorbike riding. A knock at the door interrupted their moment of romance as Sam kissed him to thank him for the kind gift. Danny had been picked up by a policeman, who Dante greeted in the park. When Danny stumbled into the penthouse, Sam understood with horror that he was intoxicated. When Danny admitted to Sam that he had escaped by going down the fire escape, Sam was taken aback. She pointed out that he might have been injured or worse, but Danny showed no remorse. The policeman clarified that he had seen Danny with Dante, which is why he had chosen to release Danny with a warning. Danny felt relieved when the policeman walked away. He remarked, "Thank God that's over," and then he said he was going to bed. Sam told Danny that Danny was fortunate that Dante was a police officer because otherwise, when he applied to colleges, his record would have followed him. Danny pointed out to his mother that he was just 14. Sam nodded, indicating that he was too young to sip alcohol covertly. She put him on the spot and made him give up his phone. Danny surprised her by accusing his mother of being a hypocrite because, when he was younger, she had done the same thing. Sam denied it. But when Danny started to wobble on his feet, the conversation came to an end. Danny could always contact Sam, she told her son, if he was in difficulty, no questions asked. Dante swiftly made it clear that although doubts will arise at some point, Danny would always have his support and that of Sam. Sam said that all that Dante and her wanted was for Danny to be safe. Sam said she was worried because her son had lied to her, and she had lied back after Danny had gone to his room. Dan maintained that Sam had told Danny the truth about almost everything else and that all parents whitewashed their pasts. Dan cautioned Sam not to tell the truth about her own crazy background, since Danny would see it as a green light to continue drinking. Sam clarified that while she wasn't concerned that Danny would turn into an alcoholic, she had observed how much her son resembled his father. Sam admitted that Jason had been a risk-taker and danger-seeker who had an addiction to adrenaline. And in the end, it killed him, she mentioned. Dante was positive Danny wouldn't take the same route. But Sam threw him a curveball by pointing out that she was an adrenaline addict herself and had been a wild adolescent as well. Dante reassured Sam that her self-awareness made her an excellent mom, and he pledged to support her. Danny came back into the living room later. He said the room had stopped spinning, and he felt better. Would his mother still be angry, he inquired. She told him that she wasn't, but that they would need to discuss things and establish some ground rules in the morning. Dan came out of the kitchen with a glass of water he meant to give to Danny. He gave Danny the glass and told him to drink plenty of water. As Danny began to head back to his room, full of gratitude, Sam yelled out to him, telling him how much she loved him. "I also love you, Mom," Danny remarked. Later, with a fire crackling in the fireplace, Dante and Sam were nestled together on the sofa. Dan said he wishes he had known Sam when she was a teenager. She was adamant that she had changed. Dante informed her that while reformation was admirable, it was also okay to be a little wild. Sam and Dante decided to get to the bedroom after exchanging passionate kisses. Willow and Michael sipped wine at the gatehouse, with Michael reassuring her that Wiley was sound asleep. He acknowledged that he felt he and Willow should move in together, but she was curious whether he had notified the kids that he had moved back in. Willow was positive the news would make the kids happy. "I'm sure I am," Michael declared. Willow pointed out that she had extended the invitation for him to move back in, so he wondered if she had any regrets. Willow made the decision to come clean since Michael had stated that going future, he wanted them to be completely transparent. She acknowledged that when she discovered Nina's secret, she had overreacted. Michael began to argue, but Willow insisted that since she had concealed her cancer diagnosis for months, it was hypocritical of her to be upset with him. She emphasized that she hadn't treated Michael with the same decency that he had shown her. Willow clarified that Michael was her person. Therefore, his betrayal of her confidence had hurt her deeply. Willow had a history of being duped and misled, so even though she told Michael it wasn't an excuse, it had shook her confidence. Willow understood that Michael's actions had been motivated by a desire to keep her safe, but she also needed to know that when they encountered adversity, she and Michael would come through for each other. Michael promised her he would not become rogue once more. He expressed regret for giving the impression that they weren't a team, even if they were. The topic of Nina came up. Michael acknowledged that despite her occasional outbursts, his mother loved and supported him. Therefore, Willow's relationship with Nina differed from his with Carly. "There are no conditions," Willow stated. Michael concurred and said that it had been too terrible to let Willow down, so it had been simpler to talk to Sonny about Nina first. Willow brought up the fact that they had both withheld information from one another in an effort to keep the other safe. "If the underlying factor here is love, what are we doing?" Willow inquired. "I'm not sure," Michael said. Willow acknowledged that they would differ, but she was completely focused on Michael and their kids. She expressed to him her desire for them to return to their previous location. She got to her feet and extended her hand. She said, "Are you ready for bed?" Michael followed Willow into the bedroom, taking her hand. They made love while gradually undressing one another. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.